with this week in TCGs number 26. Hitting all the TCG news leaks real quick. That's Nappa from Dragon Ball Heroes, Superheroes. I still need to get this played. But anyway, let's get into it. Alright, starting off, we got a bunch of MTG news. This is February 23rd, 2024. So MTG Outlaws of Thunder Junction has a lot of spoilers that just leaked. Not too many spoilers, but a lot of spoilers did leak for FallOut. Right, so what can we expect from the Thunder Junction? With tons of spoilers being previewed, it's no surprise that MTG FallOut is getting a lot of attention. We've seen a plethora of new spoilers as well as a bunch of spicy reprints previewed today alone. And this is MTGRocks.com. Breaking new cards, reflection of Kiki and Fable of Mirror Breaker. I heard about that before. So it appears as though play boosters are getting a bit of a revamp as people are really sour on the play boosters. Kind of makes the draft kind of crappy out here. While each pack is guaranteed to contain 14 MTG cards and 1 token or art card, it's actually possible to open as many as 5 rares in one play booster pack. In Murders of Karlov Manor, the most you could open in one pack was 4. So what changed? Most notably, every play booster for Outlaws of Thunder Junction will contain a breaking news card. These cards will be all reprints with new art and a unique news style treatment that showcases the spell in question as a crime. Whether it's not entirely clear from this description based on the fact that one breaking news card reprints shows up in each play booster, there's a good chance that these cards could function as a part of an unannounced bonus sheet for the set. Alright, so there goes that the Outlaws Fat Pack art, and then it's got the cool belt thing like that. And then it's coming with 4 commander decks. First we have Olivian Voldaren representing the most wanted Mardu Commander Precon. For those hoping for a strong Mardu Vampire commander besides Zergo Markov, perhaps you could be in luck. Next we have Gonti, and she first appeared in Kaladesh. Now Gonti will rep the Sultai Grand Larceny Commander deck. The other 2 Commander decks, the Desert Bloom and Quick Draw, feature seemingly new characters, Yuma and Stella. Get a better look at those elsewhere. Okay, so FallOut yesterday turned out to be actually the gross mutants and horrible monsters of the wasteland, full of super mutants. Cazadores and FallOut's best character, Harold the Mutant deck. Looks like a whole bunch of fun with some shockingly spicy cards. And today marks the final day of FallOut's previews, and we'll be visiting the scientist of the post-nuclear world in science. Whole bunch of stuff. A main big thing that's coming out is still scrolling. There's so much. It's Tarmogoyf, but let me type in Tarmogoyf somewhere. Alright, Tarmogoyf. Alright, so Scourging Deathclaw, 1/1, 1/1 green. Scourging Deathclaw's power is equal to the number of card types among cards in graveyards, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. So good old Tarmogoyf getting a reprint. And then some of this FallOut art. Destroy all lands, the Ravages of War. Everybody hates land destruction when it happens to you, but it's great when you're doing it. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. Alright, Soul Ring. Cool FallOut Soul Ring. War Room. Tap, add a waste, and then spend 3 and tap. Pay life equal to the number of colors in your commander's color identity to draw a card. A lot of stuff to draw a card, but if you got infinite mana, infinite mojo, then it's all good. And then Wasteland, tap, and sack Wasteland to destroy target non-basic land. Got some 3D art. Looks cool. Alright, and then also Hasbro loses 1.06 million in Q4. So they say that they're 23% down in 2023. And then despite Arena and Baldur's Gate killing it last year, because kids aren't buying toys too much, they're pretty much just playing on tablets and playing phone games and video games. So, of course, they're going to be trying to make even more money this year. So what they're going to do is they're going to come out with 2 Universus Beyond products per year, starting in 2015, starting with the Marvel set and the Final Fantasy set. And then one of those sets is actually going to be replacing a mainline set. So a lot of people are salty about that. But for the people who love Marvel, which is most everybody, and the people who love Final Fantasy, most everybody, they're going to complain a little bit, but they'll just fold, just like with The Walking Dead. Alright, and then we got a bunch of secret layers, 9 days to get this winter Superdrop 2024. 9 days left. What's in there? Why, let's see. Okay, made for those with a passion for pulp noir stories. The Dark Mysteries Bundle 9-foil edition has these crime-ridden dossiers and secrets hidden within dreams. This shadowy bundle includes 3 foil drops that are dark, clandestine, and powerful. Jace, the Wielder of Mysteries Planeswalker. We got Reconnaissance Enchantment, Black Market. I can't read these cards. I don't even want to read these cards. Alright, then we got the Just Add Milk Second Helpings, cereal boxes, Sakashima of 1,000 Faces. It looks to be a 3-1 vanilla, but it might not be vanilla for all I know. Oh, okay. I guess it's on the back. It tells you what it does in a cereal box. That's pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie. And then Yargle, Glutton of Orborg, 9-3. I want to say that's from Dominaria, but I'm not sure. Alright, then the Hard-Boiled Thrillers. That's what I just read not a second ago. And then Prismatic Nightmares. Got an Arcane Denial, Nightscape Familiar, Reign of Filth, and Simian Spirit Guide. Kind of abstract-y art type of thing. Not really. And then Deceptive Divination. Looks pretty lazy, like Rorschach ink blots. Kind of lazy, but I'm sure people will like it. And moving along, we're gonna take it to DZ on YouTube because Exodia just got new support. Let's hear about it.
Past weekend, Konami held a giant 25th anniversary Yu-Gi-Oh! Celebration at the Tokyo Dome in Japan. There were a bunch of cool reveals at this event, including 10 new Exodia support cards that are based off of the cards that Simon used in the manga and video games. It'll be a little while until these cards are added into the TCG format, but they were so cool that I just couldn't wait to talk about them. The best place to start is with the new boss monster, the Phantom God Exodia Incarnate. The fusion materials for this card are 5 Forbidden 1 monsters. Let's take a look at what it does. This card on the field cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Once per turn, if this card battles, during damage calculation, it gains attack equal to your current life points. Once per turn, when a spell or trap card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate the activation. Once per turn, during the end phase, you can set 1 Exodo spell or trap or obliterate directly from your deck. Once per turn, during your standby phase, you lose 1.
Too much going on the computer.
Lose 1,000 life points. When I first read this card, I immediately realized that this was one of the best Exodia boss monsters ever released. And this is only one of the 10 cards that they announced, so already we are off to a good start. It has protection effects on the board, it goes up to a ton of attack.
And for those who don't know, Exodia, the Forbidden One, if you have all 4 pieces of Exodia on the field, and you have Exodia, the Forbidden One, the head, in your hand, you auto-win the game. Pretty cool.
Points, and it even has a negation effect as well. Not to mention that during both players' end phases, you get a free +1. We'll talk about the cards that this can set in just a few moments here, but first I wanted to show you the normal spell that can summon it. This card is called Millennium Cross, and here's what it does. Take 5 Forbidden 1 monster cards from your hand, deck, and or face of field, and reveal them, then special summon 1 Phantom God Exodia Incarnate from your extra deck. Then shuffle all face-up monster cards you control into the deck, except Exodia monster cards, whose original level is 10 or higher, and Millennium monster cards, which is the new archetype. We'll go over that in a moment. Also, you cannot summon monsters for the rest of this turn, but you can at normal set. After activation, shuffle this card into the deck instead of sending it to the graveyard. This card seems great to me. It is basically which will probably have its name changed in the TCG. This is a normal trap card.
And then the rest of the 10 cards, here we go.
That says if you control a level 10 or higher Exodia monster, destroy all cards your opponent controls. Also, if this card is in your graveyard, except during the turn it was sent there, you can banish it and activate one of these effects. Either add 1 Forbidden 1 monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, or shuffle up to 5 Forbidden 1 monsters from your graveyard and or banish pile into the deck. And those are all good effects to be completely...
Alright, good stuff. And one more we'll look at. Check out the rest of his vid at DZ on YouTube.
The exact same first effect, which allows you to place them from your hands to your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell, and then they have an effect while they're a continuous spell, as well as an effect while they're a monster card. For example, the Caveman that awoke after a Millennium is a level 8 Beast Warrior monster that says, of course, if this card's in your hand, you can place it face up in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell, and then if this card is a continuous spell, you can pay 2,000 life points or reveal 1 Millennium Cross in your hand, special summon this card, then you can add 1 Millennium monster.
Yeah, so those are like in the OCG right now, or they were just previewed, but they'll be coming to the TCG soon. Wonder how they'll shake up the meta. Sounds like some fun stuff. Winning with Exodia. Alright, on to Flesh and Blood. Alright, they just announced the world premiere, part the Mistveil. This is going to be, sounds like it's going to be a ninja set. I guess the next set coming out after the heavy hitters. Okay, so for thousands of years, our ancestors have walked the path well traveled. Like the tiger stalks his prey, they have waited. Like the snake hiding in the murky water, they have waited. Like the warning faces of the moon, they have waited. Until now, the truth lies beyond the mist. This is a mist type of ninja land. Forget the location. But the mist beckons you to Japan for the world premiere of the part of the Mistveil and Calling Tokyo, taking place from May 17th to 19th, 2024, featuring the brand new part, the Mistveil sealed deck format across the entire weekend. Discover the ancient traditions and talents of Mysteria that have laid hidden beneath the Mistveil for centuries until now. That's right, you're not dreaming. We're going to Japan. Join us in the heart of Tokyo's entertainment district at the Bell Saul Takanaboda something for the world premiere on Friday, May 17th, followed by the first ever Japanese calling on Saturday, May 18th, and a battle hardened on Sunday, May 19th. More than $20,000 USD is waiting to be claimed, among other exclusive prizes yet to be revealed. Part of the Mistveil draws you deep into the cloaked valleys of Mysteria, where tradition, desire, and purpose will reshape your mind, body, and soul. Releasing on May 31st, 2024, Part the Mistveil marks the long-awaited arrival of a new talent unlike anything Wraith has seen before. Wraith. And is the first ever Flesh and Blood set to launch in Japanese language alongside English, French, German, Italian, not Italian, and Spanish. Flesh and Blood creator James White says, for years, passionate TCG players across Japan have patiently waited for Flesh and Blood to be able to be open in their mother tongue. Now, after years of planning, we're incredibly excited to officially bring Flesh and Blood to the motherland of the TCG industry. How's it the motherland of the TC industry? When Magic start in the USA. Motherland. Get out of here. Marking a massive milestone for the LSS and the status of FAB as a truly global game. As the creator and lead designer from the 13 booster sets that have released since 2019, Part the Mistveil is the one that I'm most proud of. The most proud of. Nice. I'm very happy that it is with our best work yet, that players will celebrate this milestone and welcome our new Japanese fans into the global Flesh and Blood community. We welcome TCG fans in Japan to join us on the road to Tokyo with Learn to Play events and early access Part the Mistveil Blitz pre-con deck events running in stores across Japan starting May 3rd. Learn, train, and master the sacred arts of Mysteria, and you could become the next calling champion. More info on Road to Tokyo events will be revealed soon on fabtcg.com and fabtcg.com/JP. Tickets to the world premiere Part the Mistveil and Calling Tokyo will go live on the website livepocket.jp. something something on Saturday, February 24th at 20 o'clock Japan Standard Time. Save the date, book your flights, and prepare to venture deep into the mist to discover truths, traditions, and perhaps even your inner self waiting under its cloak. One day I will hit that Akihabara. One day. But yeah, good stuff for FAB. New set coming up. Alright, and let's hear from your boy Top 10 Pokemon talking about how MetaZoo's coveted graded cards have fallen off a cliff.
Far, these graded cards have fallen, so let's get started off with this Righteous Reckoning from Nightfall. This is a first edition holo. In PSA 10 had once sold for $219.49. And this exact card had sold last week for about $16 as a PSA 10. So, yeah, major drop in value. That would be a 92.7% loss from the time this card was listed, when it first got graded, to today. That is quite a number to start off this video, 92.7. Here we have also from Nightfall the Headless Horseman in PSA 10 that used to sell for about $265. And I apologize for the quality of these pictures from back then. I had to really dig them out. But this card now sells as a PSA 10 for about $31, which would be an 88.3% loss. So we are just in Nightfall right now, folks. If you don't know what Nightfall is, I think it's the second set of MetaZoo to be released. Let's get on to some of the base set or the Cryptid Nation booster box cards. Here's a first edition Sam Sinclair. In PSA 10 had once sold for about $415, and today's market sells for more like $35 with a 91.5% loss. Ooh, it gets so much worse, folks. Stick around. Here is a Loveland Mailman holo. This is a marketplace purchase card. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but a PSA 10 used to sell for about $510, and today it sells for about $52, which would be an 89.8% loss on this card. Here we're getting some Kickstarter cards. Here is a Quetzalcoatl. I don't know how to pronounce this card. I'm not going to try to. This Kickstarter card in PSA 10 used to sell
Quetzalcoatl. I can say that word. And we'll jump to the end. See what that Mothman is selling for nowadays.
$60. And nowadays sells for about $22.50, which would be a 97.4% loss. Mama. And last but not least, the Kickstarter booster box. I have a documented sale here where it had sold once for $9,200, but I do believe it had sold for over 5 figures at one point upon the initial release. So we're just going to use the $9,200 here today. Nowadays, this box sells for about $1,025, 88.8% loss on this box. So that was brutal. I mean, these are the main cards.
Brutal. I'm still waiting to get my MetaZoo boxes. They're still selling for like $30 on eBay with ship, but I'm really waiting until $20 including ship, which may never happen. But if I can catch them for like $25 plus shipping, I mean including shipping, then I'll probably jump on that though. But still not here quite yet though. Alright, and then Upper Deck's Versus System 2-player card game. This is one of them that I missed back in November, but this release, it was a 55 card installment of Marvel Zombie story arc. The hunger has turned our beloved superheroes and supervillains into dangerous monsters, ready to explore with freshly undead. 10 new main characters to play with, and epic competitive gameplay to pit your team of allies against your opponents. 55 cards, 1 rule sheet. And an example of the cards, they got this hunger virus move going on. When Zombie Angel wounds a character in melee combat, it gains the hunger virus and the zombie subtyping. I mean the zombie typing. If it doesn't already have them. At the end of your turn, if Zombie Angel didn't wound a character in melee combat this turn, wound them. So from what I surmise is that this is a aggro set. I mean, at least that's what the build phase on YouTube said, but it sounds like it. So, like, if you hit a guy with melee combat, then it gets the zombie typing and it gets the hunger virus, which, if it doesn't wound the character with melee combat next turn, then it gets a wound. And then in Versus System, when you run out of wounds, you go to the graveyard. And then I'm sure there's also recursion effects and everything in play in the set, but sounds fun. Would love to play that Marvel Zombies Versus System. And then here goes a Zombie Giant Man. He's the main character. Strange thing about this guy though, most main characters they have more than like they can usually sustain more than 1 wound, but this Zombie Giant Man can only sustain 1, but it's a 16/16, so it's hard to damage him with 16 damage. And then this guy's a one of a kind, costs 5 to cast him onto the field, I guess. And then this card starts in your deck, so you don't even start with them in your deck. I mean, on the sideline, in the command zone. To play it, you must KO a level 2 main character on your side. Okay, I get it. So you start with the level 2 main character on your side. Then you have to KO it yourself, which sounds crazy. And then you bring out Zombie Giant Man, which could be a very two-sided sword. But Zombie Giant Man is massive. He attacks rows instead of characters. So in versus system, you have 2 rows, the front row and back row, and then this guy just hits the whole row. Crazy. And you got columns too in versus system. So guys in front of guys protect the guys behind them. With this full attack against each defender in a row. So this guy's swinging 16 at the whole row. That's out of control. Alright, and moving along, we got Grand Archive has a new set coming. The Mercurial Heart. And that's dropping in May 17th, 2024, a few months. Mercurial Heart continues the story of Azoth into its next chapter. This set features new cards for all 7 classes. The Assassin, Cleric, Guardian, Mage, Ranger, Tamer, and Warrior. All I have is a Tamer deck right now. It also adds new cards to the deck archetypes from Alchemical Revolution and the new Recollection decks. The set contains 191 cards plus 204 variants. Each pack comes with 8 random cards. There are 20 booster packs in a box and 7 displays to a case. $170 for the, $107 for the booster box. Alright, and then Fantasy Flight, they revealed the Star Wars Unlimited Spark of the Rebellion weekly play kit. Man, we used to have a Star Wars Destiny League. I used to love that league. And then news too, my guy Adam, along with my guy Cody, they're going to be opening their own game store out in Conway. So, need to send them this. I'm sure they're going to get down with the Star Wars Unlimited. Wish I could get out and play with them. But Fantasy Flight Games revealed Star Wars Unlimited Spark of the Rebellion weekly play kit, a new organized play kit for release to retail in March 8th, 2024, so that's 2 weeks. The new OP kit supports up to 8 players through 8 weeks of play, which is considered a season of Spark of the Rebellion. The kits come with blind packs containing 3 random promo cards that can be awarded to players each week, as well as a weekly play tracker to keep a tally on which players came each week. There's an alternate art and hyperspace variants of cards that can only be obtained from this kit. Box contains 64 OP boosters, organized play boosters, 8 weekly play trackers, a promotional poster, and an info card. Sounds very fun. Sounds fun. Alright, and then we got a lot of Universus news. So the Yuyu Hakusho Dark Tournament booster display unboxing. That's going to be dropping today. $110 per box. And then I played the OG Yuyu Hakusho in UFS, but I wonder how many reprints there are. And then let's see pictures of these unboxings from ICV2. Alright. Kind of a lot of borderless cards. Cool. Watched the first episode of that. No more. And then also My Hero UVS. They got a new set coming. Girl Power on May 17th. A lot of stuff coming from Universus. And it doesn't stop. They got Attack on Titan. Battle for Humanity coming. And that's going to be dropping August 16, 2024. And then they're going to have Clash decks and Challenger Series products. The themes and story events found within the manga will be expressed through the card art and gameplay of the set. Players can find the whole gamut of what they would come to expect from the world, such as massive titans with huge attacks, soldiers bravely battling, and fast and nimble humans trying to avoid capture. And it's going to have demo kits at the LGSs. And that's going to come out before the set comes out. And then they're going to be at Gamma Expo on March 3rd through the 7th in Louisville, Kentucky at booth 126. Check them boys out at Universus. And Mophidius will release the new edition of Dark Deeds, a classic card game by Andy Chambers and Ryan Miller of Lorcana fame and Mark Gibbons. Dark Deeds was originally created by former Warhammer 40k lead designer Andy Chambers. Players will take on the roles of minion serving an evil patron. They must carry out acts of skullduggery in his name while avoiding getting caught by the authorities. Players will interact with the street deck that provides them with unsuspecting targets to stalk, and a tavern deck which allows them to complete specific missions for their patron. The richest minion at the end of the game will reap the rewards of a villainous job well done. Okay, you got dice rolling. Sounds like a bluffing game, but let's see. The OG version of the game supported 2 to 5 players and played in 30 to 60 minutes. And Mofidius will release more updated information about the game at a later date. Also produced Battle for Nuka-Cola, the new 2-player starter set for FallOut factions on pre-orders. Alright. And Keyforge Grim Reminders will hit retail on March 1st, according to Asmodee. The campaign reached $600,000, keeping Keyforge in the game. I love it. Alright, and then we got a new crown holder for indie TCGs on Kickstarter. So, Sorcery Contested Realm, they clocked 5,784,804 New Zealand dollars. That converts out to $3,590,338 in US dollars. And Altered, they're running it up all the way to $3,600,000. They'll probably make $4 million by the time this 6 days ends. They've got 9,101 backers. I had to get in on it because this sounds very flippable. And I got a gameplay on my channel. Fun game. It's kind of like, it's more of a racing to get. Both players will have a pawn at both ends of the center of a 9-space line, and then you want to get your companion and your hero to meet on the same space. They don't have to meet in the middle. They can meet all the way at the end or whatever, but both your companion and hero have to meet at the same space. There's a cool reserve area where you can usually have 2 cards in reserve, kind of like Flesh and Blood's not armory, what do they call that thing? Archive or whatever, kind of like in Exile, you can have a couple things in there, and then you can play stuff from there for 1 cost, or you can play them from your hand for a separate cost. And all cards have a cost, 2 cost on them. If I could look at some of these cards. And of course, when I'm looking for them, it's not on the page. But yeah, they got a lot of stretch goals. Let's see what kind of stretch goals we'll get. 1 art card replaces a classic something. 6 promo cards. Okay. 1 alternate art card. And extra foiler. So what's left? Just one more thing. Drop rate for unique cards is higher, 1 in every 7 boosters. Okay. No, 2 things left actually. No, actually nothing left. Okay, drop rate, one unique card for every 6 boosters. Okay, so I guess all the stretch goals have been met. That's crazy. That rarely happens. All right, and yep, you can get 1 box in 2 starters for $162 plus shipping, or you can get 2 starters. Best way to go really is $26 for 2 starters. All right. And we got kCaloria. Let's check out kCaloria. The first, might I say first, Kickstarter page that your boy has made. kCaloria. I think it's the first one. I might have made another one, but not sure though.
In kCaloria, like in nature, life begins with water. Plants and fungi quickly follow. Herbivores rush to eat the greenery, omnivores quick to eat anything, carnivores to eat everything. And above all, we humans sit atop the food chain. As life is shaped by nature, can you shape nature to suit life? kCaloria, build your biome.
Hey there, I'm Melanie. I design and I play games.
And my name is Matthias, and I draw pretty well. And together with some friends, we created a new tile placing deck building game called kCaloria. Here's how the game works. Players take their decks face down in front of them, draw their hand of tiles, and take turns one at a time placing tiles on the board.
When placing a tile, the upper right dots signify that tile's cost to play, and the lower dots show its yield. In order to place this pine tree, you must have the appropriate amount of free blue calories available on the table. Free calories must directly neighbor your tiles. After placing the pine tree, I can now place the squirrel tile using its free neighboring blue and green calories.
2 to 4.
Game is cool because you can steal people's resources. There's all kind of interactions, and it's like a TCG because you bring your own column of tiles.
4 players will take turns placing jaguars, hurricanes, E. coli, fertilizer, and armadillos on the board. Tiles consume and produce different colors of energy called calories. The first player to place their second human along their food chain ends the game. Pencils down, it's over. The winner is the player with the highest score of unspent calories on the board and can claim eternal glory. How do you increase your score, you might ask? Easy. Feed your insectivores insects, place your nocturnal creatures near moonlight, and feed your mosquitoes blood.
While building your food.
A lot of stuff. Alright, and yeah, they're fully funded, 6,700 of a $5,000 goal, 61 backers, 13 days to go. Folio games recommended. How much is it recommended? I have a quotable. Yeah, let's zoom in on that bad boy. Alright, I love the tile placement. The take that is crazy. Knowing your opponents can consume your calorie cubes. The fact that you can make your own custom deck of tiles like a trading card game to battle opponents in an ecosystem clash is wild. Definitely look forward to playing it again. Folio games. I have arrived. God dang it. And just leave it alone. Alright, and yeah. And then also got the video, check that out on my channel. Video made the campaign too. So, and it shows you how to play the game. Very cool game. Give them a back. Alright, and then I actually made a tile with Matt. It's a giant cuttlefish. Check that video out as well. Giant cuttlefish, sepia apama. Alright, moving along. Another one hitting the scene is 6 Forms. The Kickstarter launch is March 19th, 2024. I got a gameplay on my channel too. This one is a cool one where you can move and attack with creatures depending on where the arrows lead. Okay, so you can move 2 squares. This is a 4x4 grid that you're playing on. And then you can cast on the back 2 rows that are closest to you. And then if you've hit everything of your opponents on this turn, then you can direct attack if you're at their back row that's closest to them. Cool game, cool mechanics. Played the once on my channel, and then look forward to playing again. Very professional website looking right here. 25 days for the Kickstarter. Be on the lookout for that one. And then I got another box opening coming for this one too. I mean, another deck opening coming for this one. Alright, and then we got the Massiveverse fighting card game. This one is going live here in a mere 3 days on February 27th, 4 days. This one is the Pocket Paragons, but it's the Massiveverse with Radiant Black comic. Image Comics. Great game. I got some gameplays of that one up. So, let me see. Got your boy Legion Games talking about it. Got me right there playing the solo mode. And then got me right there flipping through the cards. Check those vids out. Check that. Back that campaign. Alright, then we got the Market. The Market, a pocket game. This one should be going live any minute. And this is the base game. They funded back in 2021. And then they've got the expansion coming today. February 23rd. And this upgrade expansion has gives you more variability in pretty much in spending your resources. So It just opens up more complexities and more freedom in the game. So check them out. The Market, a pocket card game, 18 card game, but the expansion, of course, adds more cards. All right, and then MagiNation is back. It's got a Kickstarter page, and it will be launching soon. The MagiNation Duel TCG Traitors Reach, the Moonlands Return. Region-themed decks for this popular, fun, and family-friendly creature battling card game. MagiNation. Let's hear from the guy who brought it all back. Let's hear from him right now.
What is in line for the Kickstarter right now is TWi is the face of the Kickstarter. They are the big power player in it. And
I call them TWi, but it's really TWi.
And for everything that sells, they get a royalty for every card printed. So that's their stake in this. And they are coordinating the return of several original artists that are still willing to work with the project. It's been actually really amazing. I didn't expect nearly as much original team support to pop up.
Okay, so this guy brought the game back by, he just loves the game. And then he went to LGS's, and then he made $10 decks of MagiNation. He got a lot of donations, and then every deck has one rare in it. And then he made playable decks that people can purchase for $10, and then people bought like 300 of them, and then that started his funding for it. And this guy is a lawyer, so he knew the legalities of things, and then now he was able to parlay that into bringing the game back and just kicking back Toei 1% or something every product he sells or something. So that's what's up.
Again, but I was chatting Matt Thornburg earlier today via Messenger. Hannah Goodman is actually flying out from New York to the first con booth for TWi in Utah on February 29th, which is tentatively the day that we will launch the Kickstarter, as long as everything has fallen into place.
Is there going to be like a MagiNation? Is there going to be like a MagiNation booth there in Utah?
Yeah.
Is there going to like actually have like product and things? Well, not product, but like images and things like that?
Yeah. So we have Hannah Goodman, original artist, coming out. We have Adam Flerman, who is a new age MagiNation artist. The two of them together did the art for the Artemilius card and the Anastasia card that you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So that is both a new artist that did the line art and a original.
And a lot of the OG artists are back. I think the guy who did like 66% of the art, matter of fact, he's coming back on board, I think. So yeah, check them out at Devin's Card House YouTube channel. Check them out. MagiNation coming back. And NonNom. I think I covered them last time, but they're on 300K. This is the spiritual successor to MetaZoo, with a lot of the same artists and creators. This is like an RPG, TCG type of thing. And 13 more days on them. Let's check them out.
The world of NonNom is waiting. Are you ready? Welcome, newcomer, to the NonNomverse, an all-new tabletop gaming experience. Part collectible card game, part tactical RPG. We've combined elements of TCGs, RPGs, and real-time strategy to create an all-new and incredibly fun way to play cards with your family and friends. Inspired by the strategy and dungeon runner games of our childhood, you and your opponent assume the role of explorers, descending into the forgotten ruins beneath Mount City in search of treasures and glory.
Alright, so you get the picture though. NonNomverse live now. Check them out. And a indie, let's see what they're talking about. Mythos, fulfill the prophecy as you harness the deities and myths from around the world in this party building strategy card game. Got some foils. Got some Yu-Gi-Oh size cards, looks like. The old borders. And let's just take a little look at that gameplay.
In this scenario, we have 3 cards in our hand and 5 essence to our name. The opponent has 3 units on the field, while we only have 1. In the center is the underworld, where slain cards must travel through to reach the discard pile. Each turn is split into 2 phases, the actions phase and the tactics phase. During the action phase, you have 3 points to spend on any combination of actions from the list, drawing new cards into your hands, attacking units, or attacking an enemy core. Think of the core as the player themselves, while the units are simply their army. Attacking units generates you 1 essence and kills the attacked unit, while attacking the core generates you 2 essence, but you can only do it when your party size is equal to or larger than the opponent's. When attacking a unit, your unit must be a higher power than the one you wish to attack. If this is the case, the target unit is slain instantly and sent to the underworld. There are no health points to keep track of. The tactics phase is when you use abilities. It consists of a simple 3 steps. First, you draw a card. Then, you use up to 3 activatable abilities, or in game terminology, invoke 3 abilities. And finally, you discard your hand down to 6 cards. At the end of each phase, you will summon a unit from your hand into your party. So, let's begin. Starting with phase 1, the action phase. I've represented the 3 action points I have using these 3 stars. For our first action, I want to attack something so that we can gain more essence. Unfortunately, we can't attack the enemy core for 2 essence because their party size is much bigger than ours, so we'll have to settle for taking down one of their units. Since our unit, Apruk, has 8 strength, he can attack any of the opposing units because they all have less than 8 strength. We'll choose the Ox. This means we gain 1 essence and their Ox is sent to the underworld. Now we can't attack anymore because each unit can only attack once per turn, so we will spend both of our remaining action points on the draw a card action to draw 2 new cards. At the end of the action phase, we must summon a unit. I think we should summon Anubis. There he goes. Now it's time for the tactics phase. For step 1, we simply draw a new card. Step 2 is where it gets interesting. We may invoke up to 3 abilities. If we take a look at our party, we actually only have 1 invoke ability, the one on Anubis called Unleashed. It states that by invoking this ability, we can summon a companion unit to our party, the fearsome Amit, Devourer of the Dead. Meanwhile, Apruk has an innate ability, one that is not invoked, but rather is always in effect, a passive ability of sorts. So let's go ahead and invoke Unleashed, and summon Amit to the field. For step 3, we must discard down to 6 cards. Not a problem, since we only have 5 anyway. Finally, at the end of our tactics phase, we can summon a final unit. Let's go with Artemis. And there you have it, a single turn of Mythos. After this, play moves on to the next player, who repeats the same turn structure. With such a simple turn order, the real nuance of the game lies in the powerful and unique abilities of each unit. Of course, there are many more aspects of the game that can't be covered in this video, but you'll have to discover those for yourself. So come on, fulfill that prophecy, and unleash your creativity and strategery with Mythos.
Sounds like some good strategery. Mythos, they fully backed 17K of a 10K goal, 217 backers 23 days ago. Check them boys out. And a few honorable mentions. My guys, Beta Earth. I'm sure when they relaunch, give them a look. They might be moving it over to GameCrafter though. But give them a look. Beta Earth, one I missed when I was not doing the podcast. And then also Personal Conquest. Give them a look whenever they relaunch. Sure they'll be coming back. And yeah, that's all I got for you right now. Come back in another, I don't know when I'm going to do. Maybe I might fall into 3 weeks. Maybe every month. I don't know. But be on the lookout for the next edition, number 27. Yo Games, like, comment, subscribe, and run my numbers up on my top 100 TCGs dueling card games list. A lot of those are still under 100 views, so I go over 100 dueling card games, rate them 100 to 1. So check them boys out. All right. Spock.